off, though, talking about Prince Harry. He's made a surprise appearance at the High Court in London yesterday as legal proceedings began in a phone-tapping and privacy media case. And the rumour mill is in full swing. And although Harry allegedly made contact with his father to make him aware of his visit, apparently the king is too busy to see him. Interesting, because his trip to France, his planned trip to France was cancelled, so you might have thought he'd be free, but maybe he's filled his diary already. But it got us thinking about, you know, is it ever OK to avoid your family? Do you ever... I mean, you've got a huge family. Huge. Do you ever have things where you think, well, if I go, I can't see them, so I won't tell them I'm coming? Do you have those scenarios?
Well, the thing with my family, if you're visiting one, you've got to visit the other 10,000 of them. So it's got to be a two-day job.
Yeah.
And because I'm away from home quite a lot, when I'm home, I love being home, and they all live in Blackpool. They see each other basically every day. But I do try and make an effort, but I'm not. I'm a bit ashamed to say that I'm not great at it, because sometimes I think I just want to be at home. And also, a lot of my family still are at home, so and I don't get to see them a lot. When my mum and dad were alive, I think we all made more of an effort. When my mum and dad were there, you know, you always made an effort. I'll go and see mum and dad, and then the rest of the family had come. But since they passed, everyone kind of splinters out into their own family, and now there's, you know, grandkids and great-grandkids,
well,
and, you know, so...
I mean, funny, I was the opposite. I didn't, when it's saying, you know, would you avoid family, I often would avoid friends, because I loved going to see my family, you know, very close to my mum and dad. So when I left home, I would always make an effort to visit them, to stay with them, to, you know, be with them. And so often I wouldn't tell friends I was coming back down to the West Country, not because I didn't want to see them, but I just thought, I'm only here for 2 days. I want to see my mum and dad. And so it's easier just to not tell people, because they go, oh, we should meet for lunch and have a coffee, and you think, I haven't got time. So I was the opposite. I didn't avoid my family, sometimes avoided
I'm just a bit jealous that you've got friends.
I've
even got that excuse.
I've got this image of Colleen at home in Blackpool with all of her curtains drawn and her blinds down, and they're all doing, like, drive-bys. She's in.
You've been spying on me.
Did you ever avoid family, Janet?
Oh, yeah, as much as possible.
Is anyone surprised?
No, my mother moved to North Wales, and I was living in the City of London, and it was, you know, and I had a very busy career, and so going to see her was a big deal. And I stayed with her once on a really, really uncomfortable sofa bed, and after that I always stayed in a hotel down the road. So often she'd come to London and stay with my sister, and then I had to work out, oh, was I going to go and visit? Was I going to visit? So I had her visit my house once.
Once was enough.
That finger was out. You know, the dusting finger that your mother comes through the door, the finger's out, and it's just going over all the surfaces. Then they go through your drawers and rearrange them without you wanting. And then somehow they're fixated on tea towels. They've got to rewash all the tea towels because you've still got stains in your tea towels. And the worst experience I ever had with my mother was at Christmas, when she was staying with me and I hadn't put the vegetables on by 9 o'clock.
Oh, Janet.
Because I didn't want the cabbage stench. And then the leeks didn't have white sauce, so she had the
yes, well, and she's Welsh, so...
yeah.
At least you fed her. If my parents come to my house, they have to bring their own food because they know they won't get fed.
Do they really won't cook with
I would cook them food, but I just never have any food in my house. So they always say, they're like, oh, we have to take our own food down to Frank's.
Even though you know they're coming,
well,
I'm sure they don't just ship up.
Look, you know what, Ruth?
I know
it's about time with me, and I haven't got a lot of time, OK?
I know about you and your weird food, because on this show, you admitted to the nation that you buy ready-made, frozen, chopped up onion.
Good, yeah, I do that.
I love that you still remember that. How long ago was that?
It's like an elephant never forgets.
I know, this has really taken a turn.
But you've got 2 children.
I
so
have
what
got
are
2
they
children.
eating?
Well, they eat, like, proper food, so I supply for them, obviously. And I do feed my mum and dad.
I'm glad I'm not in her postcode and thinking what would I get? Like
a sandwich. You get a nice ham or cheese sandwich.
Yeah, what did your mother bring?
Some nuggets
Real
and chips.
food.
My mum will bring, like, you know, like a good roast. Or I went and saw her the other day on Mother's Day. She made me a massive minestrone soup to take home.
She knows that that's the only way they'll get fed.
Yeah.
What about if you go back to Essex?
Yes, so if I go back to Essex, you know, I haven't got a lot of time. Like you said, I've got the kids, I've got work to do, and I live quite far away from all my friends and family. So it's often I have a reason to go there. I don't just go somewhere for, you know, a leisurely stroll. It's like someone's had a baby, I'll go visit the baby, I go straight after school drop-off, and I've got to get back to Surrey by school pickup. So, and I've got to do it in the window of traffic on the M25.
The answer is you lie to your parents.
The answer is yes. The answer is I don't lie, Ruth. I just don't always tell them. Okay. And now they're watching this, and I'll be in trouble.
I was
So thank you.
Hello. Now you know. Yeah. Okay, we'll park that one there.
Hey, Royal Fam. Welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad. Today we're talking about Prince Harry making a surprise appearance in London for his privacy case. Yes, he walked into that courtroom like a boss, but guess who couldn't be bothered to meet him? King Charles. That's right, apparently too busy. We're breaking it down, calling out the hypocrisy, and as always, standing strong for Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex. So Prince Harry showed up at the High Court in London, kicking off legal proceedings against the tabloids for phone tapping and privacy violations. This is huge. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for accountability, truth, and the right to privacy. But of course, the media spin machine immediately went into overdrive. Suddenly, the headlines are more focused on why didn't he see his father than on why he's even in court. Let's be real, this isn't just bad journalism, it's intentional deflection, because when Harry stands up to the media, they panic. When Harry demands justice, they distract. And when Harry puts truth over tradition, they call it betrayal. And let's talk about King Charles for a second. He supposedly couldn't see his own son because he was too busy. Busy doing what exactly? His France trip was cancelled, his calendar suddenly empty, but he couldn't carve out 5 minutes for the son he claims to love. Spare us. If this were a Hallmark movie, Charles would be the dad who misses Christmas and sends an assistant instead. But this isn't fiction. This is real life, and Harry's the one showing up. He's doing the emotional labour, the legal work, and yes, the healing. He's breaking generational cycles while his father clutches a calendar like it's a shield. And of course, here comes the tired narrative. Harry didn't give enough notice. Like he's showing up for brunch, not a major court case. This man is taking on an industry that destroyed lives, and instead of backing him, the press and the palace play hide and seek. It's exhausting. Meanwhile, Meghan Sussex, graceful as ever, is holding it down at home, far from the chaos, proving once again that peace is power. The Sussexes left the institution, but they never stopped standing up for what's right. If you're tired of the gaslighting, the blame games, and the royal double standards, then you're in the right place. Here at Royal Sussex Squad, we support Harry and Meghan Sussex not just because they're royals, but because they're real. And that matters. So do your part. Hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts in the comments and show your love with a super thanks to support the truth. Because when Harry speaks, we listen. And when the media twists the story, we set it straight.